Imagine if you were a North Korean citizen abroad during the pandemic, long after other countries had lifted their COVID-19 related border restrictions. You're still waiting to return home. But as of Sunday, that's changed, and it could finally pave the way for the restart of tourism in the north. It started with a flight operated by Air Koryo, North Korea's national carrier, which arrived in Beijing last Tuesday, marking the resumption of flights connecting the north with China after a hiatus of more than 3.5 years. More flights followed, not only to Beijing but also Vladivostok in Russia's Far East. There weren't many passengers on the outbound journeys, but hundreds were on the return flights to Pyongyang. And with the reopening of these routes on a regular basis, more North Korean diplomats, laborers, and students staying in foreign nations are expected to return home. That much has been confirmed by state media. North Korea's National Emergency Epidemic Prevention Headquarters announced that its citizens abroad have been allowed to return home, as it has decided to adjust the anti-epidemic degree in reference to the eased worldwide pandemic situation. The North had initially closed its border in January 2020, before imposing maximum emergency anti-epidemic measures in May 2022, when it reported its first COVID-19 case. Since leader Kim Jong-un declared victory against the pandemic around a year ago, North Korea's border policies have remained cautious, but there have been signs of change before this month. Cargo operations by train and truck resumed with China and Russia last year. We also saw delegations from both countries visit North Korea last month, the first known foreign visitors since the pandemic struck. But those moves were arguably born of necessity. North Korea needed to do whatever it could to limit the economic damage of both the pandemic and global sanctions. According to South Korean government data, the North's trade with China has recovered to around 85% of pre-pandemic levels. And since its war with Ukraine, Russia's emerged as a reported destination for North Korean weapons. But tourism can also receive a boost. It's still not yet clear when the North will open itself to visitors on a more general basis, but in a further sign of border relaxation, 7 North Korean judokas have been registered to compete in the Asian Games to be held in China from late September to October. We also recently saw North Korea allow taekwondo athletes to travel by bus into China in order to compete in Kazakhstan. Yet there are still some challenging details here. For one, North Korea says those who return home will be put under proper medical observation at quarantine wards for a week. There may also be concerns that North Koreans who've been abroad for longer than expected may have been exposed to the outside world to such an extent that they would be able to spread unwanted information in the North, even if they're free of COVID-19. While that may be reflected during re-entry procedures, on an even more sinister note, a United Nations estimate places as many as 2,000 North Korean escapees in Chinese custody. These people may also be forced to return home and predictably face the harsh fate that usually befalls those who try to flee the country.